Hey everyone, welcome back. Happy Monday. My little clicker isn't working, so I'm, old school turning on the camera this way. Um, Always fun. Always some sort of technical difficulty, I swear. But regardless, I'm here to give you an update. It's another Monday. I have another update for you as far as the Phoenix real estate market goes, and I am here to update you on a weekly basis. A lot of you have actually reached out to me with questions in whatever position that you're in, whether you're thinking about selling or relocating here, and everyone has had some really great questions, and I appreciate you reaching out. So if you're in that position, don't hesitate to reach out. And one of the easiest ways is you can book a time with me by clicking the link in the description below. We can do a phone call or a Zoom call, whatever works for you. Or you can reach out by call, text, or email too, if you'd prefer. But let's jump right in. So summer slowdown, are we going to see that this year? That's the big question. Typically, our market here in Phoenix does see a peak in terms of number of contracts in the spring months. Because we are a very seasonal area. We get a lot of travelers who come here to visit through the winter months, and then they all disperse once the temps start to get into the 90s. So our real estate kind of follows that pattern too, because you end up having a lot of people who are visiting here and want to purchase while they're here, a seasonal place essentially. So anyway, our number of contracts usually peaks in the spring, and then it tapers off towards throughout the summer, towards the end of the year. We usually have a little uptick in the fourth quarter, and then it kind of slowly slumps off through the rest of the year into January. So that's our season for Phoenix. And again, I'm not talking about prices or anything like that. I'm talking about the number of contracts that we have in the real estate market here. So typically we see this slowdown in the summer. And of course, last year being 2020, we did not see anything of the sort. It was crazy coming out of May and into the summer. No slowdown whatsoever. We did not follow a seasonal pattern. And something happened interesting in the last week that is making us ask, are we going to see this summer slowdown? We actually had a big drop off in our number of accepted contracts in the last week. And that, if that continues, then we're going to start to see that summer slowdown that we normally see. So I don't know that we anticipated that to happen this year, because everything has really been so different since the pandemic, and has been moving a lot faster, and we've had a lot more contracts going on than we normally do just in general. But we saw this sharp decline, so now we're wondering, are we going to have a summer slowdown? The big area where that was affected is the price range under $400,000. That's where we saw a big drop off in accepted contracts, and we also saw it over the $1.5 million price range as well. You can say, both are probably areas where we have fewer homes available for sale than kind of those middle price ranges. Anything under 400 can be hard to find in this market sometimes, and then over 1.5 million is not quite as common either, although we do have a healthy pool of that. So both of those are the areas where we saw a drop off in accepted contracts, and it kind of begs the question, is this going to happen in all price ranges? Is this going to continue? What's the reason for this? Is it because our seasonal visitors who have, the money to buy a second home and look in those higher price ranges have now left for the year and they're not putting in offers and getting under contract? Are people who are looking under 400,000 getting exhausted by how competitive this market is and dropping out? And so we're not getting as many accepted contracts there. I don't know. So we'll see next week if that trend continues. But if it does, we might actually have that summer slowdown and go back to our normal kind of pattern. So I just talked a lot about that, but I know a lot of you are here to talk about the CMI because I talk about this every week. It went down again. It's been going down much slower than it was when it first started to go down. So right now we're at a reading of 444.7. We're going down about 21 points per month. Before we were at a pace of about 30 points per month. So we've definitely slowed down quite a bit. And at this pace, we're looking at probably another 16 months of seller market conditions and price appreciation. Now, again, that's at this pace that we're currently at. A lot could change, but right now, if we continue going where we're going, it's still going to take us 16 months to get out of the seller's market. So if you're waiting for prices to drop, be prepared for about 16 months or so. And I don't even want to say prices dropping, because at 16 months is when prices will just stop appreciating as fast as they are now. So there won't be a drop, but it would take at least 16 months for us to see any sort of change. Amazon's at the door, so we're hearing a lot of dog barking. Sorry about that. So our supply factor is still low, but it has increased. This is something interesting that's been happening because we haven't seen increases in supply for a while. And so it has slowly been increasing. We're sitting at 24.2, which is about 76% below normal. And we were more towards 78% below normal like a month or two ago. So seeing supply increase is really exciting. It's still so low, but that is going to change the CMI. The more that creeps up and our demand does not drop, we will see that CMI continue to go down. Demand right now is at the same spot, 107.6, so it's 7.6% above normal. That has been in that range for quite a while. It was dropping for a bit, and now it's holding steady. So we'll see what happens with demand, but right now, that's where we sit. Still very low supply, still demand above normal. And keep in mind, again, supply is really the factor that is putting us in this position. It's not demand. We don't have a ton of demand and crazy demand going on. We're just slightly above normal. So again, right now, seller market conditions for the next 16 months, as long as nothing else changes. I did want to share one tidbit of information. As much as the seller's market has been challenging for buyers, it has been really great for homeowners. So the median monthly sales price in the Phoenix area right now is $390,000. And that number has doubled since January of 2015. Okay, so that's 6 years ago. Hopefully it increased, right? But what's interesting about that is that half of that increase has occurred in the last 12 months. So that is how fast our prices have risen, and equity for homeowners and appreciation in their homes. Half of their increase has been in the last 12 months. So kind of nuts to think about. So the owner of the median house has seen their home equity increase by $97,500 in the last year. So congrats to you if you're a homeowner currently. You have seen a huge increase in equity. And if you just bought a home recently, that's still okay, because you're going to continue to see an increase in your equity the way things are going right now. So something to think about if you're on the cusp of buying. If we have 16 more months at least in these conditions, I advise buy sooner than later, because you're going to want to get those appreciation gains as these months go on, rather than waiting till we hit a peak of price eventually. So I thought that was an interesting tidbit to really break down how much things have changed and how much equity you have as a homeowner, which is way cool. And so, if you've been considering selling, the price that you could get might blow your mind. Then again, think about where you're going to go. If you're leaving the state, that's one thing. But if you're selling to go buy something, you really got to look at those numbers and see if it offsets, makes sense for you to do so. But anyway, if you have any questions about that, like I said at the beginning, I'm happy to chat with you about buying or selling, or, give some advice, however you'd like. You can give me a call, text, or email, or set up a time to chat by using the link in the description below. And I think that's it. Those are my little nuggets for you this week. We'll see if we'll start to see a summer slowdown. I will talk about that next week, as we see what the data says over the next week. And thank you as always for watching, and thank you for allowing the dogs to bark. Sorry about the distraction. Hopefully it wasn't too loud, but I hope everybody has a great week, and I will see you next week with another update.